A wise man once told me, a great wine goes with anything. And I believe he was correct. Introducing the world's first and only PlayStation 5 Special Wine Edition Modification. Brought to you by the one and only Ultimate Tech Hub. So whether you're drinking a bold red wine while playing Call of Duty Cold War, or you're sipping a Chardonnay while playing Astro's Playroom, this PlayStation 5 Special Wine Edition will help you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So whether it's a bottle of red or a bottle of white, it all depends upon your gaming appetite. And today, we're going to show you how to make this beautiful wine modification for your PlayStation 5. And before we get started, make sure to hit subscribe and the bell notification. Thanks. So now, let's go over the supplies and tools needed for this modification. And this wine modification works with both versions of the PS5, digital or console. Alright, the first thing you're going to need is a lot of corks. So, get to drinking. Just kidding. Hopefully, you already have some wine corks saved up over the last couple of years. If not, you can visit the wine store and see if they have any corks available. Or maybe ask a friend or a family member. Next, you'll need a hot glue gun and a packet of glue sticks. We use Gorilla brand because it works well and is cheap. We spent a total of $14 on this glue gun and these glue sticks. You also need a serrated knife to cut the corks. Next, you'll need a large piece of white cardboard. We used a smaller piece of cardboard that was a little bit wider than our PS5 console, but was too short. So we used this small piece as a template to cut out the first side panel. We can then go to the PS5 and then trace around it to get the exact dimensions, and then cut it out. And once we cut out the first side panel, we can simply trace it onto the cardboard for the second panel. Next, it's time to cut some corks, and I mean a lot of corks. And you're probably wondering, how many corks do you need for this modification? Well, keep watching and you'll find out soon. To cut these corks, you're going to need to steam them or boil them in water. You have to soften them up before you can cut them. We chose to steam the corks for about 15 minutes, in small batches. Then after 15 minutes, let them cool for a few minutes. Take them to the cutting board and start cutting the corks in half, right down the middle. You want the name of the winery to face the middle of the cork. And don't worry if the cork is not split down the middle exactly, because you want some variations. This gives the wine modification some character. Trying to make it perfect will drive you crazy. So grab a cup of coffee and start cutting. And keep cutting. And be careful with the knife and don't cut yourself. And cut a little bit more. So now we mocked up the corks for our first side panel. These are not glued yet, just simply placed in a staggered pattern. So now, we need to cut the top row, using 6 whole corks. I recommend here using your best corks, the ones from the most expensive wine. You kind of want to showcase them. So in these 6 corks, we have to cut a groove in it to allow the cork to sit on top of the PS5 panel. And there should be enough room for the cardboard to be glued to the inside as well. This cork, the Paradox cork, is going to face the front, so you don't want to cut all the way to the very front of the cork. So for the front of the panel, it will look uncut, and we'll do the same for the other side of the panel as well. It's a nice clean finished look. And this requires a lot of trial and error to get the groove deep enough. So before you do any gluing, always test fit the pieces. Just like this. That's how it's going to look. Perfect. Now the next 5 corks, we'll have grooves cut all the way through them, which is much easier. And of course test fit it before you glue it. To To cut a large groove in the cork, you'll need to make 2 or 3 cuts and then scrape out the middle of it. And make sure the groove is deep enough. And all 6 corks should have the same thickness of groove, so the corks are all level. And once again, I only use my prime corks for the very top. So once we're done here, we'll go ahead and mock it up real quick and then glue it. So here's all 6 corks ready for gluing. So start with the cork in the very front, the paradox, and add glue to the cardboard, not the cork. When you place the cork onto the cardboard, you have a few seconds to make sure it's straight and level before the glue dries. You want to press the cardboard against the cork firmly for about 2 or 3 seconds, and that's it. And then do the same with the 5 remaining corks. And make sure each cork is level with the next cork. It should look pretty straight, but not perfect. So once again, simply add the hot glue and attach the cork and hold it for a couple seconds. And then rinse and repeat. And here's one of my favorite wines, Opus 1. So guys and gals, what is your favorite wine? Leave your answer in the comments below. For me, I love Caymus, Opus 1, and Duckhorn. So the last cork on the top row, we're going to wait to attach that one. So now we're going to transfer the corks from the left to the right and glue as we go, doing the staggered pattern. That second row kind of lines up with the top row, but after that, it's a staggered pattern. So now while I glue on the corks, let me explain how these panels are going to attach to the PlayStation. Obviously, the top row hangs on top of the PlayStation, and the bottom of the cardboard will sit into the groove of the PS5 stand perfectly. However, we need a way to keep the side pieces from bowing out. So our ingenious way of doing this is every other row, we'll attach a cork that's kind of like a hook to grab onto the sides. And it sounds kind of complicated, but it's not. And we'll show you in depth how to do this. Okay, here's how it works. You cut the cork down the middle, but not all the way, and leave a notch. And this notch hooks onto the side of the PlayStation. You'll need to carefully measure the length to get this right. And because each cork is unique in size and shape, each one of these hooks will be a little bit different, but the concept is the same. Cut down the middle, not all the way, cut across the side, and now cut out a notch. And if you're still watching my video, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And please give us a thumbs up and share this video. Thanks. And the total number of corks you're going to need for this modification is 112. Alright, now let's go ahead and attach the cork and see if it fits. If the cork is too long, just shave off the end a little bit until it fits. However, this cork fits perfectly. And wherever you see that white cardboard notch, we're going to add a hook. So basically, it's every other cork. And this will give it some symmetry. Pretty cool. And if you have the PlayStation Digital Edition, then both sides will be exactly the same. But if you have the console edition like we have, then you're going to have to make some adjustments around the disk drive. But don't worry, we'll show you that later. If PlayStation sent us a digital edition, then we'll make a video showing how to do that one as well. And I guarantee it will look amazing. And guys, I want to encourage you to visit my Patreon page, where $2 a month helps keep this channel going. And our YouTube channel has memberships as well. So please consider signing up for one or both. And thanks again for watching, you guys are awesome. So on the back side of the panel here, we're going to add one hook. Around the middle area, that's all we're going to need. And then we'll fill in the rest of the area with corks. So you can see at the bottom of the panel, I added some more corks on that bottom row, but had to shape them to fit around the stand. And remember, when gluing on these corks, make sure the writing is facing the same way. You don't want any upside down corks. That will look awful. And if you have a lot of the same cork names, try to space them out. You don't want to bunch them up together. You can see we have a lot of decoy corks as well as Josh corks. And I would avoid using any plastic corks. It would be hard to cut and will look pretty bad. So stick to good old-fashioned wood corks. And here's our first panel installed. Looks fantastic. There's that symmetry on the end with the corks. Looks good. Now on to the other side. Now on this side, I'm going to focus on the disk drive area because that area is going to be a little bit different. So I'll speed everything up until I get to that point. And then I'll explain how we work around the disk drive. But one thing you don't want to do is install the corks too close to the drive, because pieces of cork could go into that slot of the disk drive, and that's no good. So our goal is to have the corks go around the drive at a safe distance, but still look amazing. So now here's the area we're going to have to make some modifications because of the disk drive. So my thought is I'm going to use a pencil. I'm going to cut out this area. It goes right to here. And then I can just start doing the corks this way. Bring them down. So looking good. Taking shape. If you don't have this one, you have the digital. It'll be much easier. It'd basically be the same as this side over here, identical. So actually it'd be very simple to do. This is more complex because I have the disk drive. And by the way, I love the disk drive. I think it's better than the digital version. I just like having the disc, and also plays movies. So, all right. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and make a move here. At least cut part of this right here out here up. So, all right. Around the back here is the cutout line I traced around that disk drive. So let's go ahead and cut that. We'll do less is best. You can always take off more later. Taking this off for now. Insert it up this way. Like that. Let's see. That looks pretty good. But I need to go test it out real quick. Okay, I am really pleased with this. This is exactly what I wanted. So I'm gonna run corks here, and I'll do it overlap a little bit. And then when I get down to here, it'll come out a little bit, but not much. It'll all be even and come down. And I'll finish off the back, and I'll have a couple of these on a couple of these in the back here, just to kind of hold it in place. So it'll be nice and tight. You won't see that anyways, but it'll still look really sharp. I wanted to do the same as down here, but I can't. There's just no way. I don't see how it's going to work that way. Maybe I can do something here on the ends. We'll see when I get to this point. Well, you'll see. So I'm kind of doing this, winging it. Winging a prayer. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go. And look, great thing about these, they come right off. Both sides. No damage to your PS5, but yet the coolest looking PS5 in the world. No one has it. Guaranteed. All right, I'm gonna cut some of this out here just so I have less paper showing. Remember, always less is best when cutting. So I was gonna cut here. I think I'll just end up cutting
to there. And then I need a piece that will go back to here like this. I can always cut another piece off. I could do the round thing like this one again, which I might do just to keep it consistent for this. So here, and I'm going to cut this now here, this. Like that. And down here, I'm just going to cut more down here. Just a little bit, just shave it just a little bit off. About 1/8 of an inch. Like I said, I don't want to see the paper. All I want to see is the cork, if possible. This will help do that. We can always cut more off if we need to. All right. Go ahead and put this on here. Just the edge. I have a whole lot here of room. Get a decent amount of glue. We want this to really be sawed on whatever paper we have here. Like that. Yeah, some on the back side there. Okay. Ooh, sticky. It's all right though. Let that dry. We'll be good to go. And then we're still going on that theme, but you can see where we have here, here, here. So it's still the same theme.
So I decided by the disk drive to stagger the corks. This would give it some character. At this point, it was pretty easy putting the corks down and gluing them, basically filling in the spots. And on the back of the panel, I did 2 hooks, one at the bottom and one at the top. And here's the last 2 corks, and a tiny one right there. And we are all done. So guys and gals, this is the world's only PlayStation 5 custom wine edition modification. However, after watching this video, you could be the second person to own a PlayStation 5 custom wine edition. And if you do build one, send me a picture. As far as the holder for the controller, it's pretty simple to make. There's many ways you could do this. I'll use the corks standing straight up and cut them at different levels to cradle the controller. And of course guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. This was a very fun project and took about 2 days. I probably could have done this in 1 day, but I had to film it so it took more time. So guys, we're all done here, and I want to thank you so much for watching. And guys, remember, if you like this video, give a thumbs up and share it. If you're loving it, hit subscribe to keep this channel alive. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Have an awesome day.